Yep, I think so.
Oh yeah. Hey, got it.
So previously on the LS build, we made sense of the wiring harness, unlocked the computer with HP tuners, got into a tiny bit of tuning, and got that. That's about it. So this week on DeBoss Garage, we finished all the exhaust on it, and that was nice because I didn't have to do any of that. Tearing the engine back out again and look into what's involved in getting it to be able to take boost. Here we go. So we had a lot of comments on the last LS build, and it's pretty funny actually. Everyone has a very good opinion on how I should have done this, but basically I didn't do it your way because it won't work. I'm not gonna do a down low mounted turbo because it doesn't fit. I'm not gonna do a supercharger on it because it doesn't fit. And everything that I've done, really, it's not me deciding that's how it's gonna go. It's putting the engine in there and it telling me it has to fit that way. I mounted the exhaust over the top and feeding the other manifold because all the steering linkage is right behind that passenger exhaust. So leave me alone, it is what it is, and I did it because that's the only physical way that you can get it to work. And since I'm the first one building it this way, you have to trust me on that. Second of all, how are we gonna get this to pass emissions? It's a 94, and anything before 96 in Ontario still has a sniff test on it. So it doesn't get the OBD plug reading in it. So we will have engine light on. But also, this thing came from Japan, so that OBD port is completely different. Nobody's even got the plug to plug anything into that because they have their own thing over there. So there is no choice but to do a tailpipe test, and whatever tune we program into that computer is what's going to come out the tailpipe, with power being the sacrifice for that. So hopefully that answers a couple things. Here we go.
So this is something. This is what it is because it has to be and can't be anything else. How's that? You're gonna weld that in there, and then it's gonna like kink in and
Let me just show you the finish.
that looks cool.
This is the tightest 90 I could ever make, and that goes right here to push the still a tight fit. I got a notch. I think the water pump here has an ear bung on it. Just got to cut that bung off a little lower. I hope it does what it's supposed to. I got to clean it all up yet, but I'm gonna leave this open. I started with a flat piece and then went from there. Tried to get a 90 smooth. It's got a baffle on the inside to kind of direct the exhaust out. My exhaust guy will probably cut this lip off and then stick his pipe in on an angle and then weld it solid. So I'm gonna leave that for him. Now, originally I was gonna put the wastegate at the back corner here, but I think I've got room here now. So I think what we're gonna do is put the wastegate right here, go into the wide pipe, wire it into the exhaust manifold right here. And then that'll still leave me just enough room for an air filter hose around the side here, and then the air filter in the box. So I just gotta cut that bung off, and then we're gonna load it up, bring it to the exhaust shop, and get them to laugh at me and see what the... It'll be interesting to see how it comes back. So yeah, here we go. Come on.
All right, we got the Mercedes out, and we're about to push it up onto the trailer. I'll probably winch it on, so it'd be really nice if there was a tow hook under here. And there was at one point, and Rich cut it off. Said we'd never use it. Should have made a bet.
You guys got something tied on there?
No, somebody took the tow hook off. Shit. Roll back a bit, roll back, back. Yeah. 2, 3, go. Oh no. Yeah, that was way better.
I just need the air filter to come around and go through here. The air filter. So you got 3-inch coming up right here. So I'll let you finish out. Like I did a decent job on this. I gotta get you to finish whatever comes out here. So go down and go right down up. You got lots of room. That's what happens when you step on the brakes and none of the lines are actually plugged in. That was just more of the engine. I can't take it out until I pull the come out right here. You got, this is where the old exhaust went. Drive shaft goes on top, you can go underneath. Yeah, you can cut it.
Where do you know what tech we're using? Or?
No, they'll be in on Monday.
Okay.
Just when you thought you had it all figured out.
Casualty. So this motor hasn't ran for a while. It came from the scrapyard, and we woke up the wildlife. Insects. Must be too hot for him, so he's out of here.
You did get that caterpillar or whatever out of the intake, right?
Oh, I did, yeah. It was a leaf. It wasn't a caterpillar.
Just a leaf.
Scrapyards, you know. They tend to leave surprises inside the
Big
motors.
thanks to Tuesday Auto Wreckers for this engine. And look forward to many, many more. But this one we are gonna blow up on the dyno, I think. Or maybe it's going in Aaron's truck, and then we're gonna blow up Aaron's engine, I don't know. But we're gonna blow something up.
That's right.
We're
Boom.
gonna boost it until she blows.
Now, if you want to get it fired up on the stand, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is get your computer, get your wiring harness. You need to break into the harness and strip down anything you don't need. Get rid of any sensors that you don't need. Really anything like that. LT1swaps.com is a great source. You can hit them up. Perfect. Familiarize yourself with the computer and the pinouts and what they do, what they handle, what they manage. And then you can strip it down to the basics. And basically, you need to take all your pinks and you need to give them fuse ignition positive voltage, which is 12 volts all the time. And yeah, and then you need an ignition. You can use the original fuse box that comes with the wiring harness and leave it hooked up. You need to find your key on power ignition, and you would bridge that to your positive, simulate the car turning on. And I just have a little setup here. I'd make a small fuse box. This will be finished later. And then everything's all hooked up, all the sensors, the banks, injectors, any important sensors that we need, MAF sensor, MAP sensor. And then we also grounded the block to the battery negative just to make sure everything's safe, grounded.
Make it funny, you're boring.
You don't wanna fry Rich's little bit of hair off his head.
Look how pretty it is. So we'll put the exhaust on it, we'll route it nice, because actually the GM's, this is how the wiring harness comes from the left, kind of up onto the top and then down on the side. We're actually coming from the passenger side, coming up underneath the back and going around and coming up and snaking through this way with the coil packs underneath. But what we did was made a little fuel canister and just pressurized at the top with 60 pounds of air. Fuel coming out the bottom, going to the top. We got oil in there. Made sure that it's kind of steady on the stand. Hooked up some batteries, and it should fire. So you've got ignition. We got to get ready to pull it off quick if something happens. That's all.
Ready?
What do you think? Should we wager some bets? Is it gonna run?
I say a couple cranks and it'll run.
Yeah.
A couple cranks. Yes.
That was.
I think I win that. Man.
You won that one, yeah. Hey guys, thanks for watching DeBoss Garage. Really appreciate having you guys stick around. And our community is very quickly growing, and it's very awesome. But I'm, again, getting overwhelmed with a lot of questions on all our different platforms. So I want to send you guys over to the Boss Garage community on Facebook. There's a whole bunch of guys there already, 250, 300 guys, and they're all willing to help each other out and share your experiences and your builds and put stuff for sale there. There's even some Power Stroke guys there that I haven't offended enough yet. So they're sticking around, and thank you for that. But head over there for your questions, and if you want a direct line to me, then you can consider going to Patreon and sponsoring us there. There's just too much going on, quoting jobs and finishing our jobs, and a lot of other things happening behind the scenes there that I can't answer everybody's questions. So thanks again for watching. Here we go. Yeah.
To get to the wastegate, you have to pull the front pipe down.
Okay. Lots of room.
It needed a bath in the worst way. Yeah, that's right.
go. Get it to go. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So last time, there was a nice tow hook at the back yet. But I think they cut the tow hook off to put the exhaust on. So now I really have nowhere to tie it down at the back. What I always wanted. All right.
Sweet.
Love hats.
He does love hats. Let's try not to dirty this one.
Lots of shirts. Holy hell,
Yeah,
how many
there's
shirts?
3 here.
Awesome. I guess they realize that I'm filthy too.
He's got clothes for the rest of the year now, he does.
Right on, and then just a tiny little box. The Pro allows you to tune it. Very nice. Thank you, HP Tuners. We are going to put this to work instantly and start tuning our LS that's going in the Mercedes. Also going to tune the Tahoe and finally get the reduced engine power off. Now it's got the Cummins in there. Yeah. And then also we need more credits to open up this, that Silverado so we can get that reduced engine power off. Some more stickers for you.
Stickers.
So in our package, you get the HP tuner, and to be able to wire it in live, you've got your communication between your car and the HP tuner, and between your tuner and the laptop. And then you get this little bracelet, that's cute, and a lighter. I don't smoke, so we don't need that.
That's a USB drive. Probably contains all the software.
Yes, it is. We got some goodies to build our engine. We're gonna yank the engine back out of the Mercedes. And first things is a LS7 cam, which has a 211 and 230 duration and 591 lift on both the intake and the exhaust. As a daily, the LS7 would probably work really good with it. We don't want to go crazy with the cam because the emissions become a pain to actually get it to pass a sniff test, and it starts to get kind of obnoxious after 600 lift. So to close the valves again, we got a set of pack springs, racing springs. These are directly off of Sloppy Mechanics build. We got some 42-pound injectors, which work with the LS1 intake, and they are the long ones, I believe. Yes, the long ones. And to make them work, we have to put new connectors on, as the connector is different than our wiring harness. So we will solder these onto our wiring harness. And we also have head gasket kit, which is just generic, 35 bucks. Don't get too excited about that. And we are going to stud this one, so we've got nuts and just a cheap China stud kit, but better than stock head bolts. So we ripped that apart. We're going to start into building the engine, get a call through to the dyno shop, and now we've got our tuner. So we are just about ready to throw everything on the dyno. So here we go.
So if Mercedes was going to put an LS in one of their platforms, I would think they would put their oil filter right here, nice and close to the oil drain. Just had to get a couple hoses made up from Princess Auto there to go into the oil ports, because now we have a front sun oil pan. So the front one here comes from the oil pump, so that is your in, and then this is your out, and then this I just teed into the fitting with an 1/8 inch pipe thread, and that will be the oil feed line for the turbo. So the turbo acts exactly like a main bearing or a rod bearing would. Clearances are about the same. So it tees it off. It's not that all the oil pressure is going to go to the turbo or none of it, because the oil resistance should be about the same on both. The oil sensor on the back of the engine is at the very end of the line. So which is why it takes so long for oil pressure to come up while you're cranking, or that little delay there, because it's last. So one of those things where if you've got oil pressure at the very end of it, you definitely have it at the front as well. And if you can tee into your oil pressure sensor right at the very end there, because it's a dead stop, but your turbo will get oil pressure last. So this is just a better way. You get the cleanest filtered oil to the turbo right away. So now that that is all hooked up, we can take that off and pull the engine and go from there. So here we go.
So once you take the manifolds and all the crap off, there's quite a bit of room underneath the hood of this thing. Just think how boring this build would have been if it was naturally aspirated or supercharged. The exhaust came off really easy. It only took about an hour to strip her down. And that's thanks to Werners Rad. They put all the couplers where I told them to, so it's really easy to take everything on and off. I can take the CAT and the O2 sensors with me to the dyno, so I can run a proper tune on it there, which is coming up. But yeah, amazing that this tiny little engine because really it's not that big. Is capable of putting out 1,000 horsepower. I think Sloppy's got 1,000 of the wheels now, and so check out his site for sure. I think that's on his Colorado, but yeah, this really is not that much or that complicated of an engine. I stuck my head underneath an S sedan, an S W140 the other day, taking some measurements for no apparent reason. And it's a massive engine, twin cams on it, and all this crap hooked up to the side, and it comes with 325 horse, somewhere around there. You're able to put a supercharger on it for $14,000 and get a little bit more horse out of it, but you can do so much with these little engines. It's awesome. So what an awesome age we live in. The 350's dead. Carburation is pretty well on its way out. And this is what we're doing. So can't wait, yank this out, we'll rip it apart, start building the engine and polishing it up, cleaning it up, and here we go. So I've been reading a lot of forums and build threads and realized I forgot to take a picture of the LS sitting in front of the car with no engine in it, with the caption that says, "Well boys, the LS arrived today and starting my swap, what do y'all think?" And then you guys are supposed to put a whole bunch of lists like, "Oh, awesome man, sweet, keep us informed, make sure to take lots of pictures." I've been doing about 60, 70, 80 hours already, easy, probably more. I don't even want to add it up. But can't do the build thread without this picture, so here we go. Okay, we're gonna stop the video there because Aaron, the editor's got about 20 hours of editing to do, and it's Saturday morning already. So if you guys want a full video on a complete rebuild on it, including the cam, how to do your stud kit, head gaskets, valve springs, just comment down below. We'll make an in-depth one. Otherwise, the next video will just be this one on the dyno, which is coming up in a couple weeks. So yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, you gotta love those government vehicles. That's our tax dollars and oil change every month.
Nice and clean, not like mine. No, not that.
Yeah, that's not so good. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon. There's a lot of stuff happening there to help support the channel. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.